Hi, I'm Keith and welcome to my art studio, where today I combined three animals into one right here on this work of art. What I have here is a hippopotamus body with a rhinoceros horn and elephant tusks. The whole thing is ink wash, watercolor, pencil, and pen, and I show you how I make the whole thing right here. So stay tuned. If you follow my page and if you're a subscriber, you know I make a lot of really crazy art. I mean crazy, crazy stuff. Most of it is animals. Most of it is stuff with fangs and pointy things and tusks. And I'm kind of stuck on that. If you're here to learn how to make art, I would suggest you watch what I do. I can see how some folks would be turned off by my subject matter. But then, I'm not a big fan of doing flower pots and still lifes either. But I do have some techniques here. Like, for example, right here, I am doing my drawing of my hippo. I went through the Googles, found me. It took a long time to find the right pose. I mean, you'd think it'd be easy, but it took me a long time. So I got my hippo, and then I started adding things to it. So I thought, well, it'd be kind of fun to combine some animals together. So, right here, you can see I'm adding my texture. My artwork is all about texture, texture, texture. And I had this idea about something I wanted to try out with those little ovals. And it worked out pretty good, actually. But on top of his nose, you can see he has a horn. And what else has a horn? Rhinos. And I've done a lot of rhinos, too. And those little tusks on the side of his face, those are kind of like elephant tusks. I wanted to do more than one. So this guy is a combination of a hippopotamus, a rhinoceros, and an elephant. But like all my artwork, I change everything up. I make it my own. It's just too boring to do a regular hippo. My artwork is usually pencil, and it's usually ink wash, and watercolor. And sometimes I'll throw in some thick acrylic paint too for highlights. So right now I'm putting on my ink wash. I use ink wash because it's easy and quick, and it looks fantastic when you're doing shading. I mean, I can shade this thing with a pencil too, but it takes forever. And I just love the way that ink wash looks when it dries. Ink wash is basically watercolor paint without the color. And sometimes I'll do these works of art, and I won't even use the color. I'll just leave it in the black and white gray tones, and it just looks fantastic. This one here, I decided to go full blast, add the colors, because I'm on a color kick right now. For a long time, I've been using colors right out of the tube, and I don't mix much, but I wanted to try mixing some colors and see what I could come up with, because that makes it more fun. For as long as I've been doing art, you'd think I'd be mixing my paint, but I don't know. It's my third year doing this particular page, and I have not been mixing much of my paints. If you look at my older stuff, it's very brightly colored, brightly colored. And sometimes I think I'm too brightly colored, so I wanted to tone it down by mixing some colors. In this guy, I wanted to be multicolored, so I got some green, some yellow, and some red. And off camera here, I was mixing it up and adding water to it and thinning it down to the consistency of watercolors. And I kind of like the colors I got. And as you watch this, you can see how bright those colors are. Well, between edits, I would take this artwork into my kitchen, and I would stick it in the oven, and I'd bake it at 200 degrees for about 5 minutes and dry it all out again. Because it would take forever if I didn't dry it out. But once I dry it out, those colors they don't fade, but they're not so bright. That's what I was hoping for. Because I wanted the pencil work to show through, and it really did. So then I started putting more highlights on the pencil work, which right now I'm not sure if I should have done that or not, but it was an experiment, and nobody's going to get too mad. My fan club is pretty forgiving, and nobody's begging to purchase this. Now, I don't know if you can hear this, but there's a guy next door to me mowing his lawn, and if you hear that lawnmower, I do apologize. I mean, I'm not a big fan of lawnmower noise, but it's a lot better than snow blowers in the wintertime, because I live in Nebraska, and we have some pretty horrendously bad winters, especially the last 3. So anyway, I am now taking a marker pen and outlining everything, because I kind of have a cartoon background, and I like the way the DC Comics and the Marvels do their artwork, and I steal their ideas all the time. So I like that look too. I mean, this here, that sounds pretty bad, it's not a cartoon, but it's not supposed to be photoreal either. I mean, I'm not into photorealism. I'm into having fun. I mean, if my artwork wasn't fun, I wouldn't even make it. If you're new to here, I would appreciate it if you would like this stuff and subscribe to me. I have 3 years. I have 355 subscribers. I'd like to have like 10 times more than that. But anyway, right here, I'm adding some hair onto my hippo. And if you don't know anything about hippos, they don't have hair. But I wanted my hippo to have hair because that's where I live. You know, I'm all about making things creative and fun. I tipped that paper up there because I wanted that ink to kind of go downhill into the other ink and kind of blend in and spread. It's a neat look. It's a really neat look. So I'm finally finishing up here, tossing my paper around, adding more darks, and I'm adding my hair. And my hair is black ink, and I use a white pencil. And it's a really kind of cool look. So, like I said before, if you'd subscribe and like, I have a huge playlist just chock full of images and paintings just like this. I mean, even if you don't like painting, just like watching somebody paint like Bob Ross, you can just watch me do this. I mean, I watch myself. I mean, it's pretty cool. I've actually learned things watching myself because I don't really know how I do most of this stuff anyway. So this is my slow pullback so you can see the final finished product right here. So I do appreciate you coming, and I would love it if you subscribed, and thank you for being here.